If you collapsed in the heart of the wild, surrounded by lions, would they see you as prey or something more? Watch this incredible true story and share your thoughts in the comments. The African sun blazed high overhead, its merciless heat pressing down on the open savanna. Daniel, a seasoned ranger, wiped the sweat from his brow as he moved steadily through the brittle grass, eyes sharp for signs of poachers. Recent reports spoke of illegal snares hidden deep in the reserve, threatening the very lions he had vowed to protect. His rifle hung across his back, more for show than for use, he hoped. Then he spotted something. Faint footprints. Human, not animal. They led toward a distant patch of trees. His heart pounded. Poachers. He quickened his pace, but the heat was unforgiving. Every step felt heavier. His throat burned with thirst. The radio crackled faintly, then died. No signal. Still, he pressed on. He was determined to find the traps before sunset. But he didn't know how close his body was to the edge. He'd faced danger before, but this was different. The brutal sun hammered down on his back as he trudged through the waist-high grass. His canteen was nearly dry, his lungs pulling in air that felt like fire. He had been walking for hours, eyes peeled for signs of poachers, but the heat was draining him fast. His boots dragged, his vision wavered. Sweat stung his eyes as he checked the silent radio once more. Still nothing. Completely alone. Then ahead, he saw it. A rusted wire snare dangling from a low branch, the kind that traps lions. His heart pounded. They were close. He crouched to inspect the area, looking for fresh tracks, but a sudden wave of dizziness hit. His knees gave out. The world spun. He had to get out, turn back. But before he could move, his body collapsed beneath the shade of an acacia tree. Breath shallow, limbs limp. Darkness closed in. A low growl shattered the silence. Daniel stirred, barely. Conscious. His limbs felt like lead, his throat unbearably dry, but instinct forced his eyes open. Shapes moved around him, golden blurs bathed in the last light of day. His mind struggled to focus. A lion. Massive. Just feet away. Its amber eyes locked onto his. Beside it, a lioness stood alert, her muscles taut, a small cub peeking from behind her legs. Panic flared in Daniel's chest. He couldn't move. If they attacked, he'd never stand a chance. He braced for teeth or claws, but they never came. The great lion stepped closer, sniffing the air, then released a gentle huff. The lioness mirrored him, then calmly sat beside her cub. They weren't hunting him. They were watching, guarding. Confusion flooded Daniel's fading mind, but sleep was pulling him under again. As he drifted into unconsciousness, he realized something stunning. These lions weren't threats, they were protectors. In the fog of exhaustion, a memory rose. Years ago, deep in this very reserve, Daniel had been new to the job when he heard the cries of a trapped lion cub. Rushing to the sound, he found a terrified baby ensnared in wire. Nearby, its mother, majestic and frantic, paced, her roars filled with anguish. Daniel knew the risk, but he couldn't walk away. Slowly, carefully, he approached, rifle slung behind him, hands raised. The lioness growled but held her ground. Kneeling, he worked quickly, cutting the wire with his knife. The moment the cub was freed, it ran to its mother. She nuzzled it gently, then turned her gaze to him, not with rage, but recognition. That memory burned bright now as he lay helpless beneath the tree. Could the lion watching over him now be that same cub, fully grown? A bond formed long ago, forgotten by him but not by the lion, had returned, full circle. The afternoon sun stretched golden shadows across the land. The air was thick with heat, and the buzz of insects. Daniel lay still, weak but alert, surrounded by silent guardians. The lion, now a mighty male, sat just a few feet away, eyes glowing with calm intensity. The lioness and cub curled close to him, their bodies at ease but ears twitching at every sound. They were on alert. Then, hyenas. At the edge of the clearing, their eerie giggles pierced the quiet. Normally, Daniel would have reached for his rifle, but he had no strength, no way to defend himself. He didn't need to. The lion raised his head and let out a deep, powerful growl. In an instant, the hyenas slunk back into the bush. That's when Daniel understood. He wasn't just being watched. He was being shielded. Whether it was instinct, memory, or something deeper. The lions had chosen to protect him. The lions hadn't chosen to harm him. They had chosen to shield him. His fate no longer rested in his own hands. He was at the mercy of the wild, yet he had never felt safer. With that thought, exhaustion dragged him under once more, and he slipped into a restless sleep beneath the tree's shade. Back at the ranger station, a growing unease took hold. Daniel hadn't checked in. Hours had passed, and every minute raised the stakes. His closest friend, Mark, led the charge to find him. They knew the dangers: dehydration, poachers, or even a predator attack. Armed and determined, the team set, out with rifles and tracking dogs, scouring the parched savannah for signs of where he'd gone. The sun was merciless, the heat unrelenting. Time dragged on until finally, one ranger spotted something. Footprints. Then another. The tracks led toward a distant tree. They hurried forward, hearts pounding. But what they saw stopped them cold. A pride of lions surrounded the tree, still, watching. Mark's hand instinctively gripped his rifle. Had they found Daniel first? Was he still alive? Before he could move, the great lion, Ku, turned his massive head toward the tree, almost as if pointing the way. Mark rushed forward, dropping to his knees beside Daniel. His fingers searched for a pulse, faint, but there, relief flooded his chest. "He's alive!" he shouted. The team moved quickly to prepare a stretcher, but Mark couldn't look away from Ku. The lion stood mere feet away, unmoving, calm, his amber gaze locked on them. The pride lingered behind him, not hostile, just watching, quiet, alert. As they gently lifted Daniel, Ku took one slow step forward. Mark froze. Was the lion going to stop them? But then Ku exhaled a low, steady breath, like a sigh, and stepped aside. The message was unmistakable. Go. They had protected Daniel through the night, and now they were letting him go. As the Yao team carried Daniel toward the vehicle, Mark looked back one last time. Ku stood tall, majestic, and unmoving, a silent guardian, a protector, a bond unspoken, but deeply understood. The soft rumble of the engine and the murmur of voices stirred Daniel from the haze. Pain laced every joint. His throat was cracked and dry, but he was alive, safe. He blinked into the morning light, Mark's face hovering above him in the back of the rescue truck. "We thought we lost you," Mark said, voice thick with emotion. Daniel's memories hit like a wave, the scorching sun, the collapse beneath the acacia tree, and then the lions. The lions. "They didn't hurt me," Daniel murmured, voice raspy. Mark exchanged a glance with the others. "They protected you." Daniel lay in silence, overwhelmed with gratitude and awe. He had made it, because of them, not despite them. Weeks passed. On patrol once again, Daniel spotted movement on a distant ridge. There, standing tall against the wind, was Ku. Their eyes met across the distance, not as predator and prey, not as enemies, but as something else entirely, something deeper. Daniel's journey had begun as one of duty, to protect the wild. But in the end, it was the wild that had protected him. In that moment, fear gave way to trust, and trust gave way to a bond that would never be broken. Nature has a way of surprising us, of reminding us of the unseen threads that tie us to the animal world. If this story moved you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more powerful tales of survival, compassion, and the wild beauty that connects us all. Stay tuned for more unforgettable adventures.